Professor Tommy Koh, Editor-in-Chief, Ms. Li Huiling, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, and many of my former colleagues, very happy to see all of you here. First, I must say, Professor Tommy Koh, to tell Prof. Koh that I read my text in font 14, not 12. So you have lived long enough to see this book, and I wish you will continue to live on. And 2035, maybe, another book will be coming. Thank you. Let me thank you first for inviting me to join you at the launch of this book, Singapore and China, Neighbours to Friends, Friends to Partners, by Professor Tommy Koh and Ms. Li Huiling. The title of this book aptly captures the arc of the bilateral relationship between Singapore and China, from our earliest neighborly exchanges to the bonds of friendship, and then to the deep, multifaceted partnership we enjoy today. Well before the formal establishment of diplomatic relations in 1990, Singapore and China were already laying the foundations for our strong bilateral relations. Mr. Lee Kuan Yew's first visit to China in 1976, followed by high-level exchanges including Deng Xiaoping's reciprocal visit to Singapore in 1978, forged this mutual understanding and respect that allowed for our two countries to take the next step towards formally establishing diplomatic relations. These early exchanges were grounded in neighborly goodwill and a vision of deeper friendship and cooperation. China was embarking on its reform and opening up, while Singapore was steadily building a dynamic economy, establishing extensive connectivity, and developing strong governance. We saw in each other not only good neighbors, but also potential friends who could learn from each other and grow together. Our bilateral relationship deepened quickly. In 1994, just 4 years after establishing formal diplomatic relations, Singapore and China launched the Suzhou Industrial Park, our first government-to-government project. This was more than just an industrial project. It was a bold experiment in blending Singapore's expertise in planning and governance with China's ambition and scale. From that seed grew other flagship projects. The Tianjin Eco-City in 2008 became a model for sustainable urban living. The Chongqing Connectivity Initiative in 2015 linked Western China with Southeast Asia, signaling the expansion of our cooperation from the coastal region to the inland regions. And besides these three G2G projects, the China-Singapore Guangzhou Knowledge City, which I had just visited, has grown into a vibrant hub for talent, research, and innovation. Each project represented a new chapter in the journey from friendship to partnership. Together, they showcased how Singapore and China could combine strengths, Singapore's connectivity, systemic thinking, and openness to the world, with China's dynamism, innovation, and sheer scale. Now our friendship has taken a further step, formerly known as the all-round, high-quality, future-oriented partnership. This is not just a label. It reflects the depth and breadth of our ties. Our economic partnership form a vital pillar of our bilateral relations. Trade between Singapore and China has seen a nearly 40 times increase, from $3 billion in 1990, when we established relations, to $111 billion last year. Singapore has been China's largest investor since 2013. At last year's Joint Council for Bilateral Cooperation, we signed new agreements across green finance, digital economy, capital markets, and public health. Besides deepening our bilateral ties in traditional areas like trade and investment, Singapore and China are also opening up new frontiers, such as green and digital shipping corridors, sustainable finance, and climate resilience. Last year, we marked the 30th anniversary of the Suzhou Industrial Park with a new 10-year blueprint, ensuring that it will remain relevant and forward-looking platform for many years to come and for innovation. Both the Tianjin Eco-City and Chongqing Connectivity Initiative also continued to chart new directions for sustainable development and regional integration. Ultimately, what sustains a relationship is not just projects or agreements, but people. Over the past 35 years, leaders from both sides have invested in building personal trust and mutual understanding. These ties are complemented by friendships forged between leaders, scientists, businesses, students, artists, and ordinary citizens. Each of these is another thread in the tapestry of our bilateral ties. This is why this book is so meaningful. The essays it contains, covering politics and diplomacy, trade and investment, arts and culture, and people-to-people exchanges, offer vivid testimonies of how our ties have grown deeper and more resilient over the decades. As we celebrate 35 years of diplomatic relations, it is important not just to look back, but also to look forward. First, our partnership must remain forward-looking. We need to deepen cooperation in emerging areas such as AI, climate resilience, and sustainable infrastructure, areas that will shape not just our economies, but our societies for decades to come. Second, we must continue to strengthen our people-to-people ties. Our youth exchanges, educational partnerships, and cultural collaborations are vital. They ensure that the next generation carries forward the legacy of friendship and mutual respect. Third, Singapore and China can show a path forward in today's turbulent world. Despite differences in size and circumstances, our two countries have shown how mutual respect, openness, and dialogue can create win-win outcomes. Let us remember the story we have written together: neighbors who became friends, friends who became partners, and partners who will now journey together into the future. Let us carry forward the tapestry of trust and respect woven by past generations and add new threads that will make it even richer for generations to come. I thank Professor Tomiko and Ms. Li Huiling for curating this very important book, and many contributors who have captured the milestones, challenges, triumphs of our shared journey. May this book inspire all of us, Singaporeans and Chinese alike, to build upon this strong foundation, to deepen our partnership, and to chart the next chapter of a relationship that is dynamic, enduring, and future-oriented. Thank you.